Hi, everyone, and welcome to First Things First. I'm Jenna Wolf. That's the Hall of Famer Chris Carter. That is Nick Wright. We have a great show for you today. Everyone stayed up late to watch LeBron do a couple things. We'll get to that in a second.
I ain't gonna lie.
Okay, well, don't.
I did.
That's why I'm exhausted. AB could be dealt any minute now. Kevin Durant, he's got 1 foot out the door. But as we mentioned, we're starting with a big number. That number is 32,311. Haven't started a show with that number before. LeBron James making history last night, sporting sneakers with a message to Michael Jordan. Why? Because he passed his idol for 4th all-time on the NBA's scoring list. Now trailing just Kareem, Karl, and Kobe. LeBron said this ranks up there with winning a championship. Emotional tribute to him during the game. Nice from both teams. Last night, after the game, more from LeBron on the big milestone.
A lot of stuff that I've done in my career. This ranks right up there at the top. We're winning a championship. For a kid from Akron, Ohio that needed inspiration and needed some type of positive influence, MJ was that guy for me. And I watched him from afar. Wanted to be like MJ. Wanted to shoot fadeaways like MJ. Wanted to stick my tongue out on dunks like MJ. Wanted to wear my sneakers like MJ. I wanted kids to look up to me at some point like MJ, and it's just it's crazy, to be honest. It's beyond crazy.
Guys, we spent so much time this season talking about LeBron's legacy and what going to the Lakers does for it, and then championships and all of it. But this particular accomplishment, CC, what does it mean for his legacy?
Well, for LeBron, it's well earned. You're talking about a player, too, that doesn't want to be known as a scorer. Even in his interviews of late, I saw Brian Windhorst. He was doing some stuff, and he was like, LeBron despises being known as a scorer. He wants to be known as a pass first, and you could hear that after the game. But it speaks to the great ability he has as a basketball player, not only to score the basketball, but his ability to be able to stay healthy, his ability to be consistent, to play in the number of games that he's played in. The longevity is basically second to none. We could talk about Karl Malone, we could talk about Kareem and LeBron. That's just a rare group of guys that are going to be able to withstand the wear and tear. It's not something, when you looked at LeBron James in his youth, in his first 4 or 5 years, said, man, will he be the all-time leading scorer one day in the NBA? Like, there's no chance. Will he ever pass Michael Jordan as a scorer? There's no chance. Well, now that, especially since LeBron's turned 30, and he's gotten into fitness and the eating, like that part's been at a different level. It's an amazing accomplishment. But if you want to be considered one of the best players in the world, if not the best player in the world, this is something LeBron's got to have. He's got the playoff, where he scored more than Jordan in the playoffs. Now he's got the regular season, because say 10 years from now, this will mean a lot more than it means today.
Right.
Because there's a lot of people that didn't see Michael Jordan, even though they swore up and down that they did. All right, they watched videos and everything. And there's going to be a lot of people that only saw a little bit of LeBron. So it's just going to be basically list. Nick in his list. People making lists. Well, how many points? Well, how many assists? How many rebounds? And LeBron's going to be in rare air, and the only one that can get on the scoring and assist list to that high mark that he's at. It's going to make him a special basketball player. So he's going to have to be included in the conversation. Was he one of the best basketball players ever? Which we can answer now. To me, he's still not the best basketball player ever, and that's Michael Jordan. So even though he passed him in playoff points and passed him in regular season points, Michael and what he was able to do in the playoffs, the 6 championships, the 6 MVPs, the 5 MVPs in the regular season, 9 times first team, all defensive team. That's why Michael Jordan is the best player. So these are things that LeBron's going to need to continue being in the conversation with MJ.
Because, as C's point is, the statistics are going to be overwhelming and avalanche in LeBron's favor. And the overall counting stats are already an overwhelming avalanche in LeBron's favor. But we're going to talk about this throughout the day, so we don't have to do LeBron versus Jordan hardcore right now. I want to talk about what this moment was. Because LeBron alluded to it and said it. This is the most important individual accomplishment of his career. The most individual. So he said he lines up right with the championships. He talked more about how he said the championship in Cleveland kind of is set aside from the other two. But this means more to him than the MVPs. When LeBron got to the league, I can definitively, without a question, he believed, I'll be a league MVP one day. I'll be the best player in the league one day. I don't think he thought until, as he mentioned, maybe the last 5 to 6, 7 years, I'm going to score more points than Michael Jordan. I could finish my career with more assists than Magic and more points than Michael. That is what makes him such a singularly unique basketball player, because his entire basketball ethos, to much criticism over the years, has been make the right play, as opposed to the Jordan ethos, which was make the play. And it's not a value judgment about which one's better, but there was the idea of, for a lot of players and a lot of players that idolized Mike, Iverson, Kobe, that means I've got to do it by myself scoring. LeBron's ethos has always been, we've got to make the right basketball play. But so to have that mindset and still have scored more points and still be climbing on the list is remarkable. And what LeBron said about the kid from Akron, he had a long quotes about the inspiration that Jordan was for him. And I think that's important. This is why this was such a big moment for Kobe. Because people thought Kobe was maybe holding on at the end because the last big thing he wanted to do was pass Michael Jordan in points. To surpass your idol in what your idol did best, which was score the basketball, it's got to be an unbelievable feeling. And you saw it on the bench where after it happened, put the towel over his face, seemingly overcome with emotion.
Is any of this dampened at all by the fact that the Lakers just aren't playing that well? I mean, does it take away from either his legacy or his accomplishments or this particular accomplishment at all?
Well, you'd like to be talking about the playoffs, but this is such a huge accomplishment that it supersedes everything else. And I think that part of the emotion, part of it's passing MJ, but I think that part of it's too, the season's over with. And I think that this is the only significant moment LeBron's going to have this season. So when he was sitting over there and they were playing the tribute video and all that, but to know, man, the playoffs is going to start next month and we're not going to be involved in it, that's hard to stomach. Because he's still chasing what he calls the ghost of MJ. He's still chasing it. Even though he went past it, he's still chasing it. Because who Michael Jordan was in the postseason. So, yeah, last night was a big moment for LeBron. And the idolization of Michael, I don't think LeBron is telling the full truth. I believe there's even a greater degree, because that was the type of impact that Michael Jordan had on, not only on the generation that we grew up in, but the generation and the 2 generations to be able to follow.
To me, these are 2 separate stories. The Lakers' struggles this season and a culmination of what is a now 16-year NBA career that is still going on.
But the reason why I said that is because he will have that purple on. He will have that Lakers jersey on. You say, oh, man, well, LeBron, when did he pass Jordan? Oh, in his first year with the Lakers, because people won't be following it like we do. All right. But they will be able to identify LeBron's got that different. It's just no different than when we went to the Heat. It was like, wow, he looks different in that jersey. In this moment, this iconic moment will be with him in the Lakers uniform. And under that story was, man, they didn't make the playoffs.
Yeah, I think that will continue to be a story if the Lakers era for LeBron continues on this trajectory. If they don't ever get it together, if they don't ever have a long playoff run, then yeah, it will just be individual statistical accomplishment. But to me, these are 2 separate things. This was a guy, you heard about him when he was 14 years old, 15 years old, from William Wesley. He's on the cover of Sports Illustrated, and I went back and read that article this morning when he was 17 years old. And the headline of the article is the heir to MJ. And the first paragraph of the article quotes Michael Jordan asking a 17-year-old LeBron, where's your mom? Where's mama? Because they had met each other about a year prior. The most hyped athlete ever, not only living up to the hype, but somehow exceeding the hype. That is the story of LeBron James. And last night was another mark on that side of the ledger, passing the man a lot of people believe to be, if not the greatest basketball player of all time, certainly the greatest scorer of all time. And now, as C mentioned, more points in the playoffs and more points in the regular season to go along with all the other stats in the regular season and playoffs.
We are just getting started talking about LeBron. Chris Broussard will be out here to give his take. We'll take a break now. Coming up, where will Antonio Brown end up? That is next on FS1. You can always check us out on the Fox Sports channel on SiriusXM. We'll be right back.